Good day, future nurses. Let's talk about the expanded program on immunizations or EPI. But before we proceed to the expanded program immunizations in the country, let's define first the immunity. Immunity, that is the conditions of being protected against a particular disease. And there are two types of immunity. We have the natural or innate, and then we have the adaptive. Okay, in natural or innate immunity, that is inborn defense system. And this is present at birth and provides immediate but not specific protections against the pathogen. So it includes here the skin, mucous membranes, fever, inflammations, natural killer cells. And then the other one, we have the adaptive or acquired immunity. So this is develops after exposure to the specific disease that is causing organism or the antigen that is provide specific and long-lasting protection. So it involves here the productions of antibodies, memory cells that responds more rapidly upon future exposure to the same pathogens. Okay? And then we have your immune system components. We have the antigen and antibody. Pag sinabi po natin antigen, that is a foreign substance, example, the bacteria or viruses or toxins. A foreign substance that triggers the immune system to produce the antibodies. And we say antibody, a protein produced by the immune system in the response to antigens. That is, binds to and neutralizes or destroy the specific antigen. Okay, we have the active immunity. There are immunity types, right? We have the active and then we have the passive. In the active immunity, that is the body produces its own antibodies in response to the exposure to the antigen. We have the naturally acquired active immunity that is occurs after infections by a disease-causing organisms. So the immune system responds by producing specific antibodies. So for example, mga anak, after recovering from COVID-19, our body produces COVID-19 antibodies or that is for natural acquired active immunity. And then we have your artificially acquired active immunity that is acquired through vaccination. So that is injections of antigens. So there are antigens may be attenuated or weakened organism or killed microorganism or toxoids or inactivated toxin, and then we have also the recombinant DNA vaccine. So ang purpose lang naman nito mga anak is to stimulate antibodies productions without causing the diseases. So example here, we have the MMR, hepatitis B, or COVID-19 vaccine. Okay? And then let's proceed to the passive naman. In the passive immunity, the body perceives ready-made antibodies without producing them. We have the naturally acquired passive immunity. So for example, from mother to child or either transplacentally during pregnancy or through colostrum and breast milk. So this provides temporary immunity to our newborn. And then we have also here the artificially acquired passive immunity, that is injection of pre-made antibodies such as anti-serum, immunoglobulin preparation. So this is used when immediate protection is needed. So example here mga we have the rabies immunoglobulin, tetanus antitoxin, hepatitis B immunoglobulin. Okay? Next one. Let's define immunizations. When we say immunization is a process of inducing immunity against a specific disease through the administrations of vaccine. The importance this one mga anak is one of the most beneficial and cost-effective disease prevention strategies. And also it reduces morbidity and mortality from infectious diseases. And there are types of immunizations. We have the active immunizations. Okay, so that is involves the stimulations of the immune system to produce antibodies and memory cells. This is achieved through the administrations of vaccines like the live attenuated, inactivated, and toxoids. And it provides a long-term or lifelong protections. Another one, we have the passive immunizations. In the passive immunizations, that is involves the administrations of antibody containing the preparations like the anti-serum, immunoglobulin. And it provides immediate but short-term protections. And this is commonly used in emergency situation or for vulnerable individuals like the newborns or immunocompromised. Okay, let's talk about the history of vaccine development. So Edward Jenner and the first vaccine, May 1776, which is Edward Jenner, an English physician, observed that milkmaids who had contracted cowpox did not get smallpox. So he met Sarah Nelms, a young dairy maid with fresh cowpox lesions on her hand. So in May 14, 1796, Jenner took material from Sarah's lesions and inoculated it into James Pepys, an 8-year-old boy who had never had smallpox. So James became slightly ill for 9 days but recovered fully by the 10th day. So noong July 1, 1796, Jenner inoculated James with smallpox matter but no illness developed. So anong ibig sabihin nun? This proved that complete protections and marked the beginning of the modern immunizations. Okay, there are types of vaccine. We have the live attenuated vaccine and inactivated vaccine. In the live attenuated vaccine, that is contain a weakened form of the wild virus or bacterium. So mimics natural infection, so the immune system or immune response is strong and long-lasting. So usually requires only 1 to 2 doses. So example, in live attenuated vaccine natin mga anak, we have your MMR, which is measles, mumps, rubella, BCG, oral polio vaccine, varicella. And then we have your inactivated vaccine that is contains microorganisms that have been killed using heat or chemicals and cannot replicate in the body. So immunity is weaker compared to the live vaccine. So requires multiple doses like 3 to 5 and booster shots to maintain the protection. So ang purpose naman lang nito nak is to remind the immune system to continue producing antibodies. So example natin ng inactivated vaccine, we have the inactivated polio vaccine, hepatitis A, the rabies, and influenza shot. Okay. Expanded program immunizations in the global context is established in 1976 by the World Health Organizations. And the purpose here is to ensure that infants, children, and mothers have access to routinely recommended vaccine. So yung initial vaccine preventable diseases, which is tuberculosis, poliomyelitis, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and measles. Okay, so there is an impact in 2002. WHO estimated that 1.4 million deaths in children under 5 years old were due to the diseases that could have been prevented by routine immunizations. In the Philippines, EPI launched in 1979, and there is a legal basis, which is Presidential Decree 996, that mandates compulsory basic immunization for infants and children that is below 8 years old. Ang pinaka-goal nila dito na is to reduce the morbidity and mortality from vaccine-preventable diseases in our country. Okay, there are vaccine provided for free. We have the BCG, which is Bacillus calmette-guerin for tuberculosis. We have the DPT, which is diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus, and OPV, which is oral polio and vaccine, and we have measles. So, how vaccines are delivered? So, syempre, we have yung routine immunizations. So, in routine immunizations, provided regularly to infants, children, and women, that is implemented through the Reaching Every Barangay strategy to ensure access even in remote areas. Number 2, we have your supplemental immunization activity. So there is conducted during special campaigns to target children who may have missed their routine immunizations that is aimed to rapidly increase immunity levels in the populations. And third one, we have strengthening vaccine. So preventable disease surveillance, continuous monitoring, and reporting vaccine preventable diseases to ensure timely response to outbreaks and guides immunization programs improvement. Okay, so ang goal lang ng API natin na or the expanded program immunizations is to immunize all infants and children against most common vaccine preventable diseases to reduce child morbidity and mortality. Another one, to sustain the polio-free status of the Philippines through continuous high coverage and effective surveillance. And also to eliminate measles infections by achieving and maintaining herd immunity through high vaccination coverage, to eliminate maternal and neonatal tetanus by ensuring clean delivery practices and appropriate tetanus toxoid immunizations for mothers, and also to control diphtheria, pertussis, hepatitis B, and German measles by maintaining high routine immunization coverage and monitoring diseases incidence, and to prevent extrapulmonary tuberculosis among children through early BCG vaccination and health educations efforts. Okay, so on your screen, as you can see, it's already posted on your screen the vaccine, the first dose, the dosage, the number of dosage, interval next dose, the route, and disease being prevented. I think this is already discussed during your Community Health Nursing 1. So yan po, makikita nyo po on your screen. Okay, so expanded program immunizations, para mas malinaw sa atin, ito yung mga abbreviations and meanings. So BCG, that is Bacillus calmette-guerin. DPT, that is diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. OPV, that is oral polio vaccine. HIV, that is Haemophilus influenza type B. PCV, we have your pneumococcal conjugates vaccine. And MMR, which is measles, mumps, and rubella. Okay, so the descriptions of EPI vaccine. So pag sinabi po nating BCG or the Bacillus calmette-guerin, this is a type of TB antigen vaccine. So ang route niyan, that is intradermal injection on the right deltoid, and this is given at birth. So ang purpose natin dyan, nak, is to prevent tuberculosis, especially the TB meningitis and TB affecting the lungs and brain. And then we have your hepatitis B, that is intramuscular injections that is given at birth and as part of the pentavalent vaccine series. So ang purpose yan naman, nak, syempre, is protection against hepatitis B infections which can cause chronic liver disease and liver cancer. And then we have your OPV or oral polio vaccine, that is the live attenuated oral vaccine that is given by mouth and given in 3 doses, 6, 10, and 14 weeks. Ang purpose dyan, nak, is prevents poliomyelitis, crimpling, and potentially deadly infectious disease. And then we have your rotavirus vaccine, that is an oral vaccine by mouth given in 2 doses and protects against rotavirus infections that is leading cause of severe diarrhea and dehydrations in young man or in young children. And then we have your pentavalent vaccine, yung tinatawag nating 5-in-1 combinations, that is component and purpose of diphtheria, that is prevent severe respiratory disease caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae. We have your pertussis, which is whooping cough, that is prevent prolonged coughing illness in infants. We have your tetanus here, which is prevent muscle stiffness and spasm caused by Clostridium tetani. And we have your hepatitis B, additional dose for long-term liver protections, and Haemophilus influenza type B, that is prevents meningitis, pneumonia, and epiglottis. So ang route lang yan, nak, yung ating pentavalent vaccine is intramuscular injection. Ang schedule niyan, nak, 3 doses, 6, 10, at saka 14 weeks. So this is the continuations, or this is the 5-in-1 components natin ng diphtheria. Okay, diphtheria, that is respiratory disease caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Pertussis caused by Bordetella pertussis. Tetanus, we have your Clostridium tetani bacteria. HIV, or that is caused by Haemophilus influenza, and hepatitis B. Okay, we have your measles. Measles vaccine that is given at 9 months of age. Purpose natin dyan, nak, is for prevention of measles. Causative agent natin dyan, nak, is morbillivirus. So, ang MMR or measles, mumps, and rubella, that is 3-in-1 live attenuated vaccine. So to prevent the following diseases, which is the measles, mumps, and rubella. Okay, the contents of vaccine under expanded program immunizations vary depending on the type of diseases they are designated to prevent. Okay, so for example, the Bacillus calmette-guerin vaccine contain live attenuated bacteria that is derived from Mycobacterium tuberculosis. That is what they call that one, used to protect against tuberculosis. Both the oral polio vaccine and the measles vaccine are composed of blood attenuated viruses which mimic the natural infections and trigger a strong immune response. The diphtheria and tetanus toxoid vaccine contain weakened bacterial toxin known as toxoid that safely stimulate immunity without causing the diseases. The pertussis vaccine, mga anak, on the other hand, it mates from killed or inactivated Bordetella pertussis bacteria. And lastly, we have the hepatitis B vaccine is derived from plasma-based sources or produced through DNA recombinant technology. So using genetically engineered yeast cell to create safe and effective immunity. So these carefully developed components ensure that each vaccine effectively triggers the immune system to protect against specific infectious diseases. Okay, the contraindications of vaccinations include the presence of severe illness such as high fever or acute infections, where vaccination might worsen the conditions or interfere with the recovery. So allergies to vaccine components such as gelatin, egg proteins, or antibodies or antibiotics rather used in vaccine productions also warrant withholding the vaccine to avoid serious allergic reactions. Additionally, immunosuppressions, whether due to illness like HIV or AIDS, medical treatment, example like chemotherapy or immunosuppressive drugs, or congenital conditions may increase the risk of adverse effect, particularly from live attenuated vaccine, and is therefore considered contraindications. We have your herbs immunity. Of course, when a large portions of populations become immune to a disease through vaccinations or previous infections, thereby producing or providing indirect protections to those who are not immune, this concept is crucial preventing the spread of infectious diseases, especially among individuals who cannot be vaccinated due to age, medical conditions, or contraindications. And then the target for immunization program are categorized based on the specific age group and vulnerable populations. So the primary target here is the infants, which is 0 to 12 months, school entrants 6 to 7 years old, and pregnant women. So these groups are prioritized to ensure optimal protections against vaccine preventable diseases during the critical periods of growth and development. For infants, the recommended immunization schedule includes the following. So we have the 1 dose for BCG for protections against tuberculosis, 3 doses of DPT, 3 doses of hepatitis B, 1 dose of measles vaccine, and 3 doses of OPV. So these vaccines are administered according to the National Expanded Program Immunization Schedule to provide early protections during the most vulnerable stages of their life. And then in the school entrants, aged 6 to 7 years old are given a 1 booster dose of BCG to reinforce protections against tuberculosis, especially as they begin school and increase their interactions with others. And in pregnant women, mga anak, are targeted with 5 doses of tetanus toxoid throughout their reproductive years to protect the mother and the newborn from maternal and neonatal tetanus. So this series of immunizations provides long-term immunity and is crucial for safe pregnancy and childbirth outcomes. Okay, pag-usapan naman natin mga anak yung cold chain system. Okay, in the cold chain system, that is refers to the process of keeping and transporting vaccines at cold temperature to maintain their potency and effectiveness. So it ensures that vaccines are stored in optimal conditions from the time of manufacture until administration. So this is also known as the vaccine supply chain or immunizations supply chains. So it is a critical component of immunization programs. So the refrigerator used in a cold chain has 2 compartments, right? We have your freezer compartment that is negative 15 degrees Celsius to negative 25 degrees Celsius. So this is used to store vaccine like oral polio vaccines and measles vaccine, which are highly sensitive to heat and must be kept frozen. In the body compartment naman manak, it is 2 degrees to 8 degrees Celsius. This is store vaccines such as your DPT, hepatitis B, BCG, and tetanus toxoids, which are stable within the temperature range. So among the vaccine, the most heat sensitives are OPV and measles vaccine, and least to heat sensitive are BCG and TT vaccine. So maintaining this cold chain is essential to preserve vaccine potency and ensure the safe and effective immunizations. Okay. Republic Act 10152, or also known as the Mandatory Infants and Children Health Immunizations Act of 2011, mandates that the provision of basic immunization services are free of charge to infants and children up to 5 years of age. So this law refills the Presidential Proclamation number 996 and is strengthening by the government's commitment to reduce the child mortality by protecting children from vaccine-preventable diseases. So under the RA 10152, the mandatory vaccines include pentavalent vaccine, which is the DPT, hepatitis B, Haemophilus influenza type B, that is provides protection against diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, hepatitis B, and infections like pneumonia and meningitis. And also rotavirus vaccine that is prevents diarrhea caused by the rotavirus, a leading cause of severe dehydrations in young children. And then we have your pneumococcal vaccine that is protects against pneumonia, meningitis, and other infections caused by the Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria. So this law ensures universal access to life-saving vaccines, significantly contributing to the country's effort in controlling and eliminating vaccine-preventable diseases among children. Okay, the principles of vaccinations. So number one here is do not give BCG to babies born with HIV or AIDS because it can be dangerous for them. So if the child has convulsions or went into shock after previous DPT vaccine, do not give DPT-2 or DPT-3. Instead, give DT, which is safer. A child with mild sickness like fever, cough, diarrhea, or poor nutrition can still be vaccinated. These are not reason to delay the vaccinations. It is safe to give all EPI vaccine on the same day as long as they are injected at the different parts of the body. Another, after giving OPV, do not give food or drink for 30 minutes. Also, check your children if allergic to eggs before giving the measles vaccine because it might cause reactions. Give the measles vaccine as soon as the child reaches 9 months, even if other vaccines are given on the same day. These rules help make sure vaccines are given safely and effectively. Okay, another one, do not restart the vaccination schedule even there's a long gap between the doses. Just continue from where it is stopped. If the child does not develop a BCG scar after the first shot, it means the vaccine may not be worked. Repeat the BCG vaccinations. But usually kasi meron na kasi yung non-scar ngayon na BCG. Kaya minsan okay lang po yun. Kaya kung makikita nyo in your arms, there is a scar or yung nag-bump doon. And then, always use a new syringe and needles for each child to prevent the spread for infections and ensure safety. And if a child had diarrhea but it's due to oral polio vaccine, still give the OPV but don't count the dose. Another dose will be needed later. So this principle helps ensure the vaccines are given safely, correctly, and effectively. So yan po yung kailangan nyo pong malaman in terms of expanded program immunizations. Hope you are learning and thank you for listening.